Hello everybody. I'm going to talk about my last vacations. I'm going to describe what activities did I do in my last trip and what was the most beautiful place that I visited. I hope that you like it. Where was my last trip? I was in Cartagena. I visited my aunt's house with my mother and my older brother.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eliana and I'm going to tell you about my last trip. Where was my last trip? My last trip was the last year on December 9th. I went to Panama with my parents, my grandma, and my older brother. We took the plane at midnight and we arrived at 2 or 3 o'clock. Then we went to the hotel that we stayed in Panama City.
Well, this travel was very fun because I traveled to Cartagena on December 31 at 11 p.m. maybe, and we passed New Year's Day flying. I was just with my brother because my mother traveled a couple of days before. We arrived to Cartagena. We took a taxi and we stayed in my aunt's house. There were all my family, my mother, my uncles, my cousins, my aunts, a lot of people. We ate tamal that day. We drank a lot of beer, wine, and tequila too. We did karaoke, we danced a lot of. We had a really good time. My family and I had the opportunity to visit a really good and beautiful places. The first days we walked around Cartagena streets. We visited San Felipe Castle too. We were in a pub. That pub was really beautiful. We drank a lot of beer and they put a really good music. That was great. We went to the beach too. We drank a delicious cocktail with my mother and we took a lot of photos.
The first place that we visited was the Panama Canal. In this place there is a museum that explains the history of the canal and how it was built. Then we went to saw the canal and fortunately it was working. The second day we went to Casco Viejo and Old Panama City. Casco Viejo is a neighborhood in Panama City that has old colonial houses and old churches. We walked in this neighborhood for around 2 or 3 hours and then we had lunch. We ate lasagna and then we walked again and we brought souvenirs for our family. Then we went to Old Panama City. This place was very close to Casco Viejo, so we walked to get there. This place was very similar to Casco Viejo, but at the same time was different because all the old houses and old churches are in ruins. We went to San Blas Islands. We stayed there for 5 days and we did water activities like fishing, dive, and ride jet skis and also surf. And my brother and I tried to surf, but I was very bad at surfing because I fell many times and I drank a lot of seawater, and because of that I stopped trying to surfing. And also we ate a lot of seafood and I tried for the first time to eat crabs and octopus and it was very good.
What was the most beautiful place that I visited? I think the most beautiful place that I visited was an island called Tierra Bomba. because it was a really good experience for me and for my family because it's an island. So we had to cross a little part of the sea to arrive to that island. Was pretty expensive, but was a really good experience. We ate a really delicious food. The sea was really beautiful, and we passed a really good time. We visit that famous beach called Baru and was really beautiful too. But in this beach, there was a lot of people, so that was pretty bad for us. But we passed a good time too. We ate delicious seafood. We drank some beers too, and we swam and it was beautiful.
I think the most beautiful place that I visited was the islands because when I went diving, it was very beautiful to see what is under the water. I saw fishes, corals, plants, and other animals. Also, because of the sunsets and sunrise, were very beautiful because you could see how the sun comes out of the sea, and because of that, I tried to get up early to see it.
We went to a party too. We were in a discotheque, in a really nice one. We drank a lot of beer and we danced a lot of. We passed a really good time. I was there with my older brother, my mother, and two uncles. We went to a couple of beaches. Beaches are not really famous, but was really quiet. We passed a good time. We rest. We sunbathed. It was a really relaxing time. We walk around Cartagena's streets in the night because in that hour the sun is less strong. So we visit a lot of good restaurants. We pass a good time. We walk a lot of, and that's it. My opinion or a little conclusion about my last trip maybe can be that I want to do it again because that trip is one of my favorites one. So I passed a good time with my family, with my mother, my brother, my other family, and we did a lot of good activities that I love to do. I love swim, I love the beach, I love the sun, I love good restaurants, I love visited new places. So that was a really good experience for me and for my family. And we try to do it every year, but it's complicated for a lot of things. But we want to do it again and return to Cartagena with my other family.
I think that this trip was amazing. I liked spending time with my family, and I would like to do it again and do all the activities that we did. And also, I would like to visit the places that we cannot see. And that's all. Bye, everyone.